Hello lovely people! Right this very moment I am on a family holiday in Madeira. I hope I'm on a beach, sipping on an ice cold Diet Coke in the sunshine, whilst wearing a massive hat and Factor 50 suntan lotion, obviously. Because no, your screen isn't overexposed, I am just this pale. I couldn't leave you without a video to jolly you along this week, however. If you're a member of the Kellgren-Fozard Club, this is actually your second video of the week because you get exciting behind the scenes action when you sign up. Click the join button below. So I'm going to take you through how I edit my Instagram pictures. My style is very vintage, old Hollywood, a mix of traditional studio photography and location shots. You can find me through my handle at Jessica_out_of_the_closet because gay. Also clothes. If you don't have Instagram, consider getting it. Or else keep reminding me to upload my pictures to other places. I constantly forget that YouTube Stories is a thing, but I've had my Instagram account for years now, but I've only properly used it for 3 years, I think. It's where I post about fashion. If you've ever wondered where a piece of my clothing in one of my videos is from, then check my Instagram, you'll probably find it there. And I tag where I get everything, unless it's true vintage. I also post a lot of day-to-day chronic illness life stuff, and just life stuff. Often pictures with my wife, because she is the most heavenly being I've ever come across and I marvel every day to be in her presence. If you're into adorable lesbian couples, then we actually also have a joint Instagram, but I don't edit those photos other than slapping Instagram's raise filter at 10% on them, all so that they're vaguely harmonious. I'm a bit obsessed with harmony. Not as much as I am on my main account, however. As you can see, I have a pretty strict checkerboard pattern that I do not break with for anything. I have created a rod for my own back, and even though it drives me up the wall sometimes, I love this stupid pattern. And I get very upset at the thought that Instagram may one day go to 4 squares like the maniacs they are. Stop changing things! So, it's outfit, picture, face, picture. Sometimes my outfits are seasonal. But there is always an outfit every 4 pictures. I also like my colours to flow nicely through my grid. Sometimes I Photoshop the colour of flowers as a go-between picture to make other pictures match. You can tell I'm really ill if I don't post that day, or I post things that don't properly flow in colour, which, considering I have a chronic illness, is surprisingly often. We're skipping over that. On to taking photos. My lovely wife Claudia takes most of my pictures. I am terrible at taking pictures of myself, definitely not good with a selfie. She even takes the pictures that she's in. We use our Canon 70D with a Tamron 70-24 lens. It's a very versatile lens and it works at close range. It gives you shots like these. We also use a prime 100mm lens that is very heavy, very expensive, and you need to be very far away from. But goodness, isn't it nice? Of course, when it comes to those outfit of the day shots, well, that's a whole different matter. Firstly, there are no plain walls in my house, and this is England, so natural light inside isn't great. This means I can only take photos in front of my wardrobe and only at certain times of the day, honestly. I mean, it was born out of necessity, but now it's a style choice, which may accidentally be my personal motto. I'm disabled and can't leave the house much, but damn am I going to look good doing it. We use a small Canon M6 mirrorless camera because it's very light, and then just the kit lens because it's actually really great at giving a very flat field of view and not blurring. I rely on the natural light coming from the window to one side as it gives me the best depth in the picture and definition in my clothes. In winter I have to actually replicate the window light with a softbox. This one's from Amazon, it's very cheap but durable. I also have a ring light that gives a little light to my front and is excellent for the portrait shots as it really kisses your whole face with light. I don't worry too much about my background because, as you will see in a minute, it doesn't last for long. I plan my outfits ahead of time along with in-between pictures that aren't time sensitive on the Mosaico app. Obviously I also leave gaps when I know something exciting is going to happen. I've actually tried a lot of different apps. A lot. And I really like this one because it allows me to easily kind of drag and then drop pictures that I haven't used yet. So kind of just switch them around. And also it has this feature called Ghost, which I am quite a fan of. So you just pull down to activate it, and then any picture that you tap just disappears. It's great. It's really good if you're considering getting rid of a picture on your feed, or quite a few pictures, but you kind of need to see how it looks first. Right, then we come to the actual editing section. If you've seen my Instagram before, you'll know that this looks very different to a normal outfit post. Now, my wife likes to make fun of the amount of time and effort I put into editing of a tiny picture on a phone screen that someone would look at for a split second, as if being a perfectionist is a bad thing, or, you know. Anyway, The first thing I do is open Snapseed, which is my absolute favourite phone editing app. I should probably point out that I am not sponsored by anything or anyone in this video, except maybe my wife and the Kellgren-Fozard Club. Okay, today's video is sponsored by the Kellgren-Fozard Club in collaboration with Claudia Kellgren-Fozard. Thank you both. So yes, Snapseed. It has a really good range of presets, but the individual tools are actually really good. If you're wondering, this is from Amazon. It's like £2 and I couldn't do without it really. Vital, I would call it. It's vital for when you're editing a picture on your phone. First thing, I'm going to tune this image. I'm just going to brighten it up. A little bit of contrast here as well. And if I feel the picture looks particularly wonky, I'm going to correct it because it was taken handheld after all. So that's just with the perspective tool. There we go. And then if there are any areas that are particularly darker than the rest, always my legs. So we're going to brighten those up using the selective tool. It gives you the options of brightness and then contrast and then saturation. Right, this last bit you're going to say, what? But bear with me. Right, so we go tools, we get our brush, and we go exposure, ramp that right up, and then we're just gonna overexpose this edge here. Alright, we're gonna get the whitest of whitest of white, because I'm truly obsessed with white. It is my base colour, okay? For some people, they think that black is a neutral and it goes with everything, but my neutral is bright shining white. I love it. So white. It's white as fake teeth. Which is going to bring us on to the next app that you may have heard of before. It's Facetune. Basically Photoshop fails for your phone. It also has a very handy teeth whitening feature that I use to brighten my background. First, however, we're going to use the brush function and very carefully, excessively carefully, so carefully that some people may say that you're being stupidly pedantic and need to get a life, colour around my body. I use the brush on Facetune rather than the one on Snapseed because it is so much more precise. Oh, it's so good. It has much sharper edges. However, this may take some time. No, really. Let's speed this up and we're going to play some music to keep you occupied. Okay, well actually that still isn't white enough for me. So then we bring in the teeth whitening tool. Are you ready? And we're going to need to speed this up again. So sorry. Honestly, either it's a work of art or I'm losing my damn mind. But done. Now I just use the detail tool to bring out the texture of my dress along with my hair, along with highlighting my features so they stand out very nicely. Obviously this is a really stylized look, but I think aspects of it can be helpful for other pictures too. Now we have declared this done, so we export it, saving to the camera roll. Lovely. Now into photos, open the photo itself, and we're going to do a little crop here, just at the top and the bottom, and then only very slightly in at sides. You'll see why in a mo, but it basically needs to be able to form half of the square. Okay, off to Instagram's layout app, and we scroll along until we find the one that is half and half, tap on that, then we mirror, then just adjust the two of them until they are beautifully, perfectly symmetrical. in the most precise way possible. Save! Done! Then, on to Instagram. Now, I don't put any filters on the outfit of the day posts at all. I simply just play around with the filters that are already on Instagram. So we're going to up this brightness delightfully. Up the contrast here to 10. Take out some of the warmth because it can be very yellow. Voila. Here we come to the fade. The fade! My favourite part of Instagram at all. Yes, I mainly use Instagram so I can put a fade on. It just makes them look lovely and old-fashioned and vintage and stuff. You know how it is. The shadows, however. Also, why am I using my finger and then I just hold this? So, we're using the shadows. I really like in Instagram that you can swipe, but you can also tap. I feel like being more precise. So I add quite a bit of shadow in order to give us a lovely depth. Delightful. And then all that's left is sharpen. Ooh, beautiful. There you go. I'll just touch that so you can get some nice before and after moments. There you go. That's how I edit my Instagram outfit of the day pictures. And yes, it is a long process, but I love that look so much. When it comes to non-outfit pictures, it's a lot simpler. With these, again, we're opening Snapseed, and I generally tend to turn down saturation and just brighten them up. I also try to find some white in the picture because obviously obsessed with white. It's a thing. And also I just really love keeping everything pale. Brighten it up a little bit. Lovely. Gonna add a little bit of contrast. Then I tend to get very selective on the colours thanks to that wonderful selection tool. It's so good because you can concentrate on just one colour and then really change that one colour. That's what I'm going for there. We've got brightness, contrast, saturation, structure. I don't really use the structure because it slightly confuses me. And beautiful. I know, it's quite simple really. I just make it seem complex for the fun. Here we go on to Instagram. I do pretty much the same series of things as I do with my outfits of the day. So we just up some brightness, contrast, always important, taking out some warmth, and again the fade to give it a very romantic, old-fashioned look, and some shadow for depth, and some sharpen, because we need a sharpen under that fade. And voila! And now I spend the next 5 hours writing captions because I'm very dyslexic. But that's another video. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at how I do my Instagram and it's maybe given you something helpful. If you have any questions, then please do leave them below and I shall try to get back to them once I am back home from holiday. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Obviously, whilst you're actually watching this, I am on holiday. I'm just very excited, okay? And I'm quite tired because we had a really big photo shoot yesterday with a jewellery brand for some pictures on Jessie and Claude, which are going to be coming up very soon. Next week, actually, to the week that you are watching this in. We really knocked ourselves out doing them, so I hope you agree that they're really nice. So I'm gonna go and see the Avengers in a few hours. I haven't packed a single thing, but the Avengers came first. It's the only subtitled screening, okay? If you're new here, please do subscribe. It would be lovely to have you. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.